So we finished our last video thinking that maybe, here's this situation, this guy who's going to be brought up as a Nazirite. Maybe this is the great climax to the book of Judges. This is a judge like no other, a judge who's finally going to deliver Israel once and for all and lead them to be fully the people of God that they were always called to be. Well, if that is what we're expecting, over the next couple of chapters of the book of Judges, we're going to be sorely disappointed. One of the great tragedies of Samson's life is that he so utterly fails. He proves to be so inadequate to point us to Jesus, the one whom he is supposed to be foreshadowing. It's always struck me as strange that the story of Samson is so well known. Of all the stories in the book of Judges, maybe Samson is the most famous. And actually, Samson is the worst judge in the whole book. He's given these huge spiritual resources, which he uses in a completely self-absorbed way. I mean, Jesus, the deliverer, who Samson is supposed to be foreshadowing, supposed to be pointing us to. Jesus uses all his wisdom, all his spiritual resource and strength to serve others, to deliver others, to draw them into relationship with God. Samson, well, the only person Samson ever delivers is himself. The only person he ever serves is himself, his own appetite, his own desire, his own lusts, his own gratification, his own agenda. The story of Samson is all about Samson. You know, he never leads an army to overthrow the Philistines. In fact, he never goes against the Philistines at all in order to deliver his people. The only thing that he's ever concerned about when he does go against the Philistines is about getting out of the mess that his own sin has generally kind of dumped him in, or it's his kind of his own petty vengeance against Philistines who've dared to challenge him. You know, he's not interested in delivering Israel. And the story of Samson is a story of a guy who is squandering the resources that he has been given. He's not living out his calling to be a deliverer of the church. He's not living out his calling to be one who foreshadows Christ. All he's doing is settling his own vendettas, enacting his own revenge on isolated groups of Philistines here and there. It's like there's a deep tension between the heart of God and the heart of the church. See, the people of God, they don't want a deliverer. They don't want to be delivered. And so the person who's raised up in Samson is someone who actually doesn't want to deliver them either. There's a sense in which the people here are getting the leadership that they deserve. In fact, as you read through the story of Samson, you begin to see that the Philistines actually have greater spiritual sensitivity and awareness than Samson does, or indeed anyone in Israel. All right, they know that if anyone has the power to break their grip over the life of Israel, it's Samson. And so they focus all their efforts on him. They want to neutralize this threat. They want to capture or kill Samson. Israel, by contrast, doesn't seem to have any sense of who Samson is, or even who he could become, or the role that he could take on within the life of the church. In fact, Judges 15, all the church wants is to maintain the status quo. Verse 11, don't you realize, Samson, don't you realize that the Philistines rule over us? You know, they're not looking to Samson for deliverance. It's like that's not even an option that they can entertain anymore. All they want is for Samson to stop antagonizing the Philistines. Stop disturbing the status quo. Stop hinting by your very presence, Samson, that things could be different from what they are. Judges 15 verse 12, they said to him, we've come to tie you up, to hand you over to the Philistines. We'll betray you, we'll hand you over to our enemies, but we're not going to look to you to deliver us from those enemies. You see, they're determined not to be delivered, and Samson is equally unwilling to deliver them. Anytime Samson is in the position where he could deliver, he simply abdicates his responsibilities. The story of Samson is a story of someone who is utterly self-absorbed. Somebody who uses their God-given gifts, the spiritual resources, for just purely for their own benefit and for their own advancement. He exalts himself. Judges 15:16. Samson said, with the donkey's jawbone, I have made donkeys of them. With the donkey's jawbone, I have killed 1,000 men. There's nothing in Samson that is about exalting the Lord or recognizing that the Lord is the source of all the gifts that Samson has. And so in a way, it's not a surprise anymore when we come to Judges 16 and Samson hits rock bottom. The famous episode with Delilah. Well, that's what we'll be looking at in our next video.